What is different about the fourth impeachment complaint compared to the three?
And the fourth, because the report says that with the fourth impeachment complaint, it seems that they are hoping to get the signatures required, so it's brought directly to the Senate.
So you are expecting a fourth impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte, and sources say that the fourth impeachment complaint is going to come from
Enzo Recto, kalaban ang katiwalian at kasinungalingan, kakampi sa katotohanan at kabutihan.
Siguradong iiyak dito si Sara Duterte at mga kampo nito kapag itong mga ito ang naghain na ng ika-4 na impeachment complaint sa Kamara. Ano po ba ang aking sinasabi? Kung maalala po natin, nagkaroon ng 3 impeachment complaint na hinain sa Kamara para mapatalsik si Sara Duterte sa pwesto. Ang isa doon ay yung sa grupo ni na Dilima na Akbayan at yung pangalawa ay yung sa grupo ni na Franz Castro na Makabayan Bloc at yung pangatlo ay yung sa mga pari. Anyway, may balibalita na may ika-4 pang magpa-file ng impeachment at ito ay kasalukuyang hinihintay. At ang balita ay ito daw ay manggagaling sa mayorya ng Kamara. Yes, tama po ang narinig ninyo. Posible daw na sa mayorya ng Kamara manggagaling ang ika-4 na impeachment complaint. Ayon po yan sa balibalita at ayon din sa sinabi ni Reginald Velasco, ang General Secretary ng Kamara. Kung totoo itong balita, talagang lagot ngayon si Sara, dahil ang kailangan lang naman sa impeachment para makalusot ito sa Kamara at hindi naabutin pa ng mahabang sesyon ay makakalap ng 101 na pirma galing sa mga kongresista. At kung ang ika-4 na impeachment ay manggagaling talaga sa mayorya ng Kamara, tiyak yung pirma na kailangan para ma-impeach si Sara ay makukuha. Anyway, para po sa karagdagan pang balita, panoorin po natin ito.
Posible ngayong linggo ihain ay ika-4 na impeachment complaint laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Ayon kay House Deputy Minority Leader Representative Franz Castro, ang pagkakaiba ng complaint na ito sa mga naunang reklamo ay ang malakas na suporta mula sa mga miyembro ng Majority Coalition. Bagamat wala pang detalye tungkol sa sektor na maghahain ng reklamo, umaasa si Castro na mapapabilis ang proseso ng impeachment kaugnay sa issue ng paggamit ng confidential funds ni VP Duterte.
Yan mga kabunyog, narinig po natin itong balita na kung saan sinabi ni Franz Castro na posibleng manggaling ang ika-4 na impeachment complaint sa majority coalitions ng Kamara. Anyway, ganito din ang sinabi ni House Secretary na si Reginald Velasco na meron pa daw dumudulog sa kanyang para humabol sa pag-file ng impeachment at ilan daw dito ay nasa mayoryang pwesto sa Kamara. Kung magkaganon, totoo pala talagang yung ika-4 ay suportado ng nasa mayorya. Talagang lagot dito si Sara. Anyway, para po sa karagdagan pang impormasyon, pakinggan po natin itong sinabi ni Velasco.
There are also some members who are still requesting for an extension because they are thinking of filing another complaint.
May mga kongresistang nagpaabot ng impormasyon kay House Secretary General Reginald Velasco tungkol sa balak na paghahain ng impeachment complaint laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte sa susunod na linggo. Kung sakaling matuloy, ito na ang ika-4 na reklamo laban sa pangalawang Pangulong ibig mapatalsik sa pwesto, kaugnay ng paggastos nito ng confidential funds. Ayon kay Velasco, nasa tanggapan niya pa ang mga naunang reklamo at kasalukuyang pinag-aaralan ng kanilang legal department bago i-transmit sa opisina ni House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Sa Lunes, January 6, umano niya matatanggap ang ulat ng legal department kaugnay ng impeachment complaints. Tumanggi naman si Velasco na edetalye kung sinong mga kongresista ang mag-e-endorse ng ika-4 na impeachment complaint. Dagdag pa nito, may hindi bababa 10 kongresista rin ang nagsabi sa kanyang pinag-iisipan ng mag-endorse ng isa sa mga unang inihaing impeachment complaint.
There are just a few of them, maybe around 10, 12. By Monday, I should have some idea as to whether they will indeed endorse any of the complaints.
So you are expecting a fourth impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte, and sources say that the fourth impeachment complaint is going to come from House Majority members. Is this correct?
Well, those are the House members who requested that I'll give them some more time to either endorse one of the three complaints filed earlier or endorse another complaint, and that will constitute the fourth impeachment complaint.
Yan mga kabunyog, mismo na sa bibig ng Secretary General ng Kamara, kinumpirma niya na yung 10 kongresista na binabanggit niyang lumapit sa kanya ay yung mga nasa mayoryang grupo sa Kamara. So posibleng yung ika-4 ay talagang suportado ng nasa majority. Hindi natin alam kung sino sila, pero baka ito ay sina Congressman Chua at mga taga-Quadcom na si Acop, Abante, Paduano at Fernandez. Siguro, malay natin. Baka sila yung tinutukoy nitong si Velasco. Pero ang malinaw dito yung ika-4 na impeachment complaint ay manggagaling sa mayorya ng Kamara. Anyway, patuloy po tayo sa kanyang interview.
What is different about the fourth impeachment complaint compared to the three?
Well, that we don't know, but all the three complaints refer mostly to the use of confidential fund by the office of the Vice President.
And the fourth, because the report says that with the fourth impeachment complaint, it seems that they are hoping to get the signatures required, so it's brought directly to the Senate.
Yes, that's well, it's not just the fourth complaint, but the sponsors of the three complaints are also garnering signatures, endorsements from the House members, primarily to avoid the long process. You know, if the proponent and the endorsers will not be able to fulfill the 1/3 vote requirement, which is around 103 House members, because by not doing so, this will mean it will have to go through the regular process, which will take a lot of time, you know, because once it's referred to finally to the Committee on Justice, they would be needing, the committee will have 60 session days to decide what to do with the impeachment complaint that will be referred to the Committee on Justice.
Okay, now the three impeachment complaints are now in your office, and your office has been under pressure to already act on these three complaints. Take us through the process. Upon receiving the three complaints, should you have already referred it to the office of the Speaker? What made you not to?
Well, it's really the request of the House members, you know. There will be complications if I will refer, for instance, the three impeachment complaints, because this is one of the rare times when there are more than one complaint. So if I will transmit, no, the three complaints filed so far, then that will be the only complaints that will be studied by the office of the Speaker for referral to the Committee on Rules, plenary, and then from the plenary to the Committee on Justice. So the House members are interested that whatever complaints they will file or they will endorse will be referred to the Speaker at the same time, you know, one package, instead of just referring the first, the second, and the third, and then the fourth will not be referred or transmitted to the office of the Speaker.
So what you mean, sir, is all the impeachment complaints have to be transmitted once. You can't transmit the first three and then the fourth to follow.
Well, there might be complications if I will not be able to transmit all of them at the same time, you know.
Like what? What
Well,
kind of...
one implication is the proponents and sponsors or endorsers of the three complaints will say, well, nauna kami, so we should be the only ones who should be referred to the or transmitted to the office of the Speaker. Not the fourth, not the fifth, or not the sixth, you know. Ganon. That's a complication. So, I want to give them a fair chance that all of them will be referred at the same time to the office of the Speaker.
Okay. Now, is it still possible at this point for the proponents of the three impeachment complaints to consolidate it into one complaint or not anymore?
Well, there are now moves being taken by the Makabayan bloc, no, the endorsers of the second complaint. No, they, I think, Congressman Castro intimated that they are planning to talk with the other proponents, no, so that they will attempt to consolidate their complaints into one, which is still allowed by our rules.
Okay, so if it's consolidated into one, and then the fourth impeachment complaint is filed, that will mean there will only be two complaints?
If the Makabayan bloc is able to consolidate the three complaints into one,
Okay.
then,
Yes.
then the fourth complaint will just be the second complaint.
All right. Now, what do your sources tell you? Will the fourth complaint be ready on Jan 13?
Well, that's the idea that I got, that they are even talking about this week, you know, which is the first week of January. And then, anyway, there will be no action on the part of the House of Representatives because there is no session until January 13. So, it will be only on the 13th of January when formal action can be undertaken on the impeachment complaints. And that's next Monday.
Okay. Now, with the three complaints, I know that one of the complaints wasn't really able to garner the signatures needed. That complaint only got pledges. I think that's the second one. Now, if hypothetically this fourth complaint is filed and it is able to get the signatures needed, a majority, what do the rules state? Do you still need the 10 session days and you need to forward it to the Committee on Rules? Or if you already have a majority of the signatures, it's transmitted directly to the Senate without the House having to review?
Well, under our House rules, once any of the complaints, will be able to garner one-third of the House members, which means 103, 103 House members, then that we may call it the express, the fast-track route. It will not be referred anymore to any committees There will be no process that will have to be done. The impeachment complaint will constitute as the articles of impeachment and then immediately referred to the Senate for action.
And all that's needed is 103 signatures.
103. And actually, it's 102 point something, but we rounded up, so 103. 103 House members endorsing physically, which as Secretary General, it is my duty to verify that all the signatures are genuine and they are really coming from each of the House member.
Okay, so I mean, given the fact that the lower house has a supermajority right now, it's quite surprising why the complaints can't get 103 signatures. Based on your experience, what makes it difficult this time?
Well, I cannot speak on behalf of the House members, no? But I would imagine that, number one, they want a complaint that will be signed and endorsed by the one-third requirement, no? One-third requirement. And that's what they want to see. Because given the few remaining session days, no? Because if you will count the remaining session days of the 19th Congress, there will be only about 5 times 3, that's about 15 session days before its final adjournment, no, in June. So, for 15 session days, it will be very difficult to process it, applying the rules, referred to the Committee on Rules by the Speaker, Committee on Rules to the plenary goes to Committee on Justice, no? That whole process, if it will take place, that will need more than 18 session days. So, maybe, I'm just guessing, maybe the House members are hesitant because of this very short time frame.
Or is it the fact that the elections are coming up, the midterm elections? Is this a factor why they are not signing?
It could also mean that, because the moment they sign this or endorse, the moment they endorse through their signature, through a resolution, any of the complaints, it could affect their re-election efforts, especially if one congressman is running for a national post like a senatorial bet or party list. Party list candidates are voted nationwide, So maybe one of their concerns is the votes that they could gather potentially from Mindanao.
Okay, another question is during the time of former President Joseph Estrada, he was impeached in the lower house just by shouting yeas and nays. I remember it was just, and then former House Speaker Manny Villar transmitted it already. Have those rules changed?
No. Well, what happened during the tenure of Speaker Villar was he was able to gather all the signatures required for the one-third, no? So it was not a simple vote, ayes and nays, no? It was really a document signed by more than one-third of the House members, no? Because without the signatures, then you cannot validate that Speaker Villar at that time was able to gather the one-third impeachment requirement, no? Which is provided for in the Philippine Constitution. So I would imagine that it was not a simple vote, no? The document was ready. It was already pre-signed by the House members who were supporting the impeachment of the then President Joseph Ejercito Estrada. So there has to be a document duly signed by the House members before it's forwarded to the Senate.
Okay. Okay. Well, on that note, I think we will be speaking to you again soon as we wait for this fourth impeachment complaint, if it will push through. Thank you so much, House Secretary General Reginald Velasco. Thank you, sir.
Yan mga kabunyog, narinig po natin itong interview kay House Secretary General Reginald Velasco hinggil dito sa impeachment laban kay Sara Duterte. Ayon po sa balita at sa sinabi ni Velasco, malalaman po natin kung sino talaga ang maghahain ng impeachment complaint ngayong darating na linggo. Abangan po natin yan kung sino talaga ang magpa-file nito. Anyway, dito na lang po ang aking topic. Mabuhay po tayo mga kabunyog.
Bunyog, bunyog, halikan na kasama ka. Bunyog, kapag buklod ay may pag-asa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, isa ang pananaw. Sa bagong Pilipinas ang bunyog isisigaw. Bunyog.